Hey, bitches.
Hi, bitches. Hi.
Oh my god, you're not Jess.
I'm not Jess.
Oh my god, who are you?
I ask myself that every day.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this how this is gonna go?
No, I am your loving husband, Zach, that you have mentioned several times.
In only the most loving of ways.
Only the most ever loving ways that never make me regret marriage.
No, I'm sure that never happens.
Never.
Not even one time.
No, once.
If you're unaware of what you clicked on, you're listening to Hot for Justice podcast. Jess is currently on maternity leave. And you might have just heard my dog growling. That's problematic, but it's neither here nor there.
That's just how it's going to be.
And if you're listening to this episode, that means that we have deleted the one that was playing earlier today. And if you listen to that, I am so sorry. That was a literal shit show.
It happens. I mean, you guys are still figuring things out. It's not like you guys are, entirely professionals at this yet.
So this probably means nothing to like almost everybody that's listening. But so we recorded remotely like we did the last time where we recorded our 3 previous episodes, and nothing was going right. Jess's GarageBand broke, and that's where we record and edit our, audio on. And so she was recording using a different system, and apparently it just didn't mesh well with GarageBand. Somebody said that it sounded like she got eaten by a computer.
Eaten by a computer? That actually kind of makes sense. It sounds like she was talking from within.
I'm going to pull up the actual text message because it made me giggle.
It sounded like she was from within the Matrix. It was rough.
Jackson texted me earlier and said, it sounds like Jess got sucked into the computer and you're just communing with her.
Honestly, it's kind of how it is.
Yeah, so she entered the Matrix, and that's why she's on maternity leave now. And
she's going to give birth within the Matrix.
God, that kid's fucked. Actually, I haven't even seen The Matrix. I shouldn't make shitty references.
You just watched The Terminator for the first time, so I don't want to hear it.
I know. We're not talking about that either until the next week's screen recap.
Oh, man, we're dropping teasers now.
We are dropping teasers. Anyways, so yeah, I have Zach with me because Jess is very thick with child, and she's honestly just over it, and I don't blame her. So I have my last-minute stand-in husband to save the day.
That's me, and it's convenient because we live together, so...
Since when?
Since I was hoping you wouldn't find out, but...
Great. Anyways, do you want to tell everyone a little about yourself other than the fact that we're married and shit?
Gosh, I am 27, I'm male, 5'10" on a good day.
Yeah, can I get your, ASL?
I enjoy long walks on the beach at sunset.
How come you don't take me to the beach at sunset?
It's my way of getting away from you. That's my long walk on the beach.
Excellent, go on.
And, I'm an old soul, really, if you think about it.
You're just an old man, but that's neither here nor
not
there.
Not really, though. But I'm just trying to think what other generic things I can come up with.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm a giant nerd at heart, so this is going to be fun.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, we were listening to Hot for Justice, and this is what the next 2 weeks are going to look like for me. No Jess, and all shenanigans. So, I'm going to go ahead and read the case that I had originally read on the episode that was already recorded. That was fucked up, because if you listen to it, it probably sounded like actual ass.
It didn't. Yeah, no, I did. I tried to listen to it. I got about 2 minutes in.
Yeah, same. I just no.
But let's dive into this.
Yeah, let's jump into this bitch. So I basically ripped most of what I'm going to be talking about from Reddit and also the Charlie Project. Are you familiar with what the Charlie Project is?
I'm actually not.
Okay, so are you familiar with the Doe Network?
No.
So the Doe Network is like unidentified bodies, like John and Jane Does.
This makes sense.
And it's like a compilation of like shit about, their circumstance and how they were discovered or whatever. And they get a lot of like funding to find out who these people are, and so that their families can have peace.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. So the Charlie Project is kind of like that, but it's identified children.
Okay, that's depressing.
Right, but it's just like, but they don't. It's like unsolved murders and disappearances of children.
That makes sense.
Right. So I got my information from, again, Reddit and the Charlie Project.
Okay.
The Reddit user, are they called Redditors? Is that the thing? Is that what they're called?
I don't know if they've actually had an official meeting on what to call themselves, but Reddit users or Redditors or
whatever. It was written by an individual whose username is Persimmon Pluot. Persimmon Plout.
Fruit guy.
Fruity. What a fruity. Well, I mean, you don't know if it's a guy. It's 2019. Come on, man.
Fruit individual.
What a fruity motherfucker.
They just like the fruits.
Yes, they do. So, this is the mysterious disappearance of the Salomon family. So, October 12th, 1982, a family of 4 disappeared without a trace from their Lassen Street home in Northridge, California. None of the family members have been seen since. We're going to rewind a little bit, 10 years prior to 1972, where the patriarch of the family, Saul Solomon, moved his family from the Israel to the U.S. Did I say the Israel? Jesus Christ. This is going well already.
They know what you meant.
Yes, the Israel. Don't get it confused with any knockoff Israels.
Not up in here.
No, not today, Satan. No. Not today. They ended up settling in Northridge, where Saul was a small business owner and his wife, Elaine, was a stay-at-home mother to their 2 children, Michelle and Mitchell.
That's just cruel.
Is that so shitty?
Michelle and Mitchell. It's like, they didn't even try. They just came up with one name and they're like, screw it. Like, if we get a boy, it's going to be Mitchell. If we get a girl, it's going to be Michelle. And then...
So this is a really funny story. For those of you who don't know, Zach and I both used to work at the same elementary and middle school for many moons. And there was this one family. The 2 sons were named Jonathan and Nathan. Bear with me. Don't dox them. They're also minors, so I don't want to, give their full names.
I'm not.
Okay. Well, I saw your, eyes light up and you got real excited because you knew who I was talking about. But one of our other former coworkers, the younger kid was named Jonathan, the older one was Nathan. And Jonathan was being a little turd. And my coworker looks at him, he's like, you know what? Your parents were so unoriginal in naming you. They liked your brother's name so much, they just put Joe in front of it.
Whoa.
And it wrecked this 10-year-old.
Yeah. He's finally building his confidence up and just checked hard. His identity as a person.
Yeah. So, that's a story about how someone who we'll talk about off-air ruined a child's life for a brief couple of weeks.
Nah, say ruined, I say build character.
And there's a reason I'm not thick with child. Anyways, so Michelle and Mitchell, the 2 children.
Michelle and Mitchell.
So Saul's business, he owned a fire extinguisher repair and refill shop, and he had 4 employees. First of all, I didn't know that was a fucking thing. I thought you just bought new fire extinguishers. I didn't know they could be refilled or repaired.
What year was this again?
82.
I mean, the 80s were a hell of a decade. So, now I don't even know who has a fire extinguisher in their house.
Probably everybody should. I can guarantee we don't, and we're probably ill prepared for disaster.
It's kind of like growing up, is just slowly realize what natural disaster or disaster you're just not ready for.
If it's us, it's most of them.
Yeah. Well, we have a hose outside. We'll just drag that in.
Guys, we just solved our fire problem. You heard it live on the internet. Okay, just kidding. So, Saul and Elaine also owned some rental properties in the surrounding area of Northridge. But Saul's interest in investment in vintage and exotic cars might have caused his family's disappearance. Police say that the family was last seen late on October the 12th, 1982, by an unnamed visitor. Don't worry, this person has apparently been interviewed and been cleared of everything. Do we know who they are? No. Apparently it's not important because they're innocent.
Apparently.
Allegedly. Who knows? 2 days later, on October 14th, the Solomons' neighbors called the police after being unable to make contact with them to tell them that their swimming pool is overflowing. Police were also contacted by family members and employees about the family being missing. The police arrived at the Solomon home to find it locked, so they forced entry and discovered that no family members were present in the home. The house didn't appear to be out of order, everyone's beds were made, which Elaine's mother, Margaret, described as very uncharacteristic of the family. So apparently they were some messy motherfuckers. Which I shouldn't talk shit because my bed hasn't been made in how long?
I don't know how long your bed hasn't been made. My bed gets made every day.
Bitch, please. And valuable items such as jewelry, electronics, about $2,500 in cash, which in 2019 money is $6,646.
Just casually missing.
Yeah, just fucking gone. Oh, and there was a Rolls Royce just left at the house.
I hate when I forget my Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I hate when I'm on the run and I just forget my, $200,000 car in my driveway.
Yeah.
So the robbery didn't seem to be a motive because all this expensive shit was just laying around, right? There was one unsettling clue found. And 15-year-old Michelle, not to be confused with Mitchell.
No.
Police discovered blood and some small blood spatters.
Oh, no. Well, hold on. Which one was this again? This was Michelle?
Yes, she was a 15-year-old girl.
Well.
She's probably definitely doing pagan worship.
Obviously.
That's what the blood spatter was about.
It's probably pig blood.
Absolutely joking. That's not probably what that's from.
No.
She was not a Satanist, don't worry. But the bedroom nor the rest of the house did not show signs of a struggle. So no one knows where the blood came from. As far as I know, no one knows who the blood belongs to.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they get that tested? Because, 15's a very, obvious time in a woman's life where blood could just be places.
Did you just mansplain a period to me?
Why is it mansplaining? Why isn't it just talking about a period?
We're not doing this right now. So police and the family were unable to explain what had happened or why the Solomons would be a target. Police worked with Israeli officials to create a background profile on Saul and Elaine, aged 35 and 39 respectively. Nothing in their histories indicated any association with crime. Saul had been a police officer as well as served in the Israeli military. Elaine was a college graduate. Both came from solid families and neither had a criminal record. Within days of their disappearance, both Saul and Elaine's wallets and passports were found thrown along a stretch of highway about several miles from their home. The children's passports may or may not also have been found, but there's been conflicting reports, so who knows. Oh, back to the blood thing and whose blood was it? It was 1982. DNA shit was not that good, and also they wouldn't have known how to probably wouldn't have known how to properly collect and save it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably grabbed everything with their bare hands too.
Yeah, they probably licked everything also.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, that's how you.
I need to become one with this crime scene. Take the next lick.
That's how the best cops do it, man. So yeah, the passports were thrown on the highway. Rumors began circulating that Saul was involved with the Israeli Mafia, a group that operated out of the LA area. Family members denied these allegations and pleaded for the family's safe return. A $50,000 reward was offered by the family, which was a sizable amount in 1982. I didn't do math on this one, and I probably should have, but I believe it's roughly around $120,000 in today's money. That's a pretty fat reward.
Yeah, it's a solid amount.
Totally. Police revealed to the media that they were familiar with Saul Solomon prior to the family's disappearance, but they declined to elaborate, stating he wasn't known under the suspicion of criminal activities. What does that mean?
I have the slightest idea.
It's fine. Nobody knows.
It's more mysterious.
Right. Police also publicly voiced their questions about how Solomon was able to afford some of the things in his life based on income from his property and his business. Still, by all accounts, they were just hardworking, good people. They were loved by their family and friends, many of whom were part of a tight-knit Jewish community and who they socialized and worshiped with frequently. So finally, police received a lead that Saul had a fight with a business associate on the afternoon of October the 12th, the day of the disappearance. Ashley Paul, a cab driver from London and the cousin of a man named Harvey Rader, claimed that he had witnessed Rader shoot Saul. Harvey Rader was a British man residing in the LA area who owned a specialty vintage car and restoration business. And Saul had met him because he was a car enthusiast. Mm-hmm. It was discovered that Saul had loaned or invested over $20,000, which is about $52,000 in today's money, in Rader's well-respected shop, and that Saul was angry about the details of the venture. On the day in question, the two men attended a car show in the afternoon and then had an argument over the money. Saul was apparently upset enough to mention this to at least one other person.
Okay.
Police then started focusing their attention in on Rader. He was questioned but denied any knowledge of what had happened to the family. Nonetheless, police moved forward with their investigation and were able to piece together a timeline including the fight and subsequent threats made against Saul by Rader and a male associate of his. Adding to their suspicions was the fact that Rader had previously been tied to another disappearance but was never charged with any crimes. Paul said that he and Rader had buried Saul and the other family members in the desert near Acton. This is where their personal belongings were discovered after their disappearance. Paul said that Rader and Saul had had an argument concerning Saul's investment. The other family members were murdered as well, since they knew Saul was with Rader the day that he was reportedly killed. So basically the family had to go because they knew too much. Paul demanded immunity in exchange for his testimony from prosecutors. Authorities believed that Paul was more involved in the crimes after his request was granted, so they made him take a polygraph test. Investigators announced that Paul had failed the test, and he was charged as an accessory in the murders, and his immunity was revoked. The charges against him were eventually dropped, and he returned to England. Rader was arrested for the family's murders in August of 1988, so almost 6 years after they disappeared. And this was right after he was released from an Arizona prison after completing a sentence for a passport fraud. So maybe he's trying to get the fuck out of America on like a shitty passport.
And it's one option, yeah.
Right. Paul had refused to return to the U.S. to testify against his cousin. I honestly don't know why they didn't extradite him. Because do you think they would be able to, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
Apparently
I don't know.
not. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fucking expert. Clearly. So, all the evidence against Rader was circumstantial. 3 defense witnesses claimed that they had seen Saul in Carpinteria, California, after the family vanished. One of these witnesses was a civilian dispatcher for the Carpinteria Police Department who had stated that she had seen Saul inside of a pharmacy after the October 12th date. Her statement was supported by the pharmacist who agreed that Saul was the person spotted inside of the business. Rader's defense attorneys claimed that Saul and Elaine were having marital problems around the time that they had disappeared. They also said that Saul was involved in illegal drug and firearms trades at the time he and his family vanished. This is where the rumors about the Israeli mafia came in.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Right. And also, how else did he get all this money to have all this shit?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, because I don't know. You don't just move completely to a new country and in 10 years have enough money to have multiple homes that several of which you're renting out for income, and have a car hobby just because. Just
for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
The family's loved ones in the prosecution denied all these allegations. Of course, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Why would you admit to that? Again, not saying that it's true, but whatever.
Yeah.
Rader's case ended in 2 mistrials before he was acquitted of any involvement in July of 1992. So this is a whole 10 years going on shit. He continued to maintain his innocence in the cases afterwards. Rader ended up selling his story and hoped to turn the events into a television film in 1992. He wanted to remain in the U.S. as his former wife and their child resided in the country. Authorities considered deporting him back to Great Britain after the conclusion of his trial. He was also the prime suspect in the 1982 California disappearance of Peter Davis and his wife Joan. The couple's cases remained unsolved, but officials believe that he might have killed the Davises after a business-related dispute. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, sort of sense a trend with this guy.
He was never charged in connection with their disappearances due to lack of evidence. Again, familiar.
Yeah.
Rader's cousin claimed that he assisted in the burial of Solomon's family's remains in the desert near Acton. Investigators conducted extensive searches in the area throughout the years, but no evidence related to the cases was ever uncovered. The family has never been located, and their cases remain unsolved. So since his acquittal in 1992, the police had to return Rader's travel documents and release him from any form of restraint in the U.S., so they couldn't deport him or do anything, because they just didn't have enough on him to warrant that.
Yeah.
He ended up leaving the country on his own shortly after his acquittal. The Solomons are still missing and no bodies have been found. Spoopy.
Yeah, that's kind of intense.
Isn't it, though?
There's a lot of
It's twisty.
It is. Oh.
It's your turn.
You give me the laptop.
I am giving you the laptop, but your case is on there.
I know, I had my phone, but...
Oh, okay, well, whatever. Then I'll take this.
Okay. I didn't know you were going to bring me the laptop. That's very nice of you. That is... Yeah.
Isn't that bananas?
Well, it's crazy, because, there's proof that he's done, he basically did the same thing again. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Again, a mysterious bad business deal. Oh my god, did you guys just hear my dog? You guys can't answer because it's the podcast, but...
It is a podcast. But I'm sure they have been hearing him. He's definitely been on one.
Yeah, and you know what? We're working with what we got tonight, so...
You just have to hear Charlie, our dog, just be on one.
Actually, what's really funny is that in the description of this week's episode, I put, because I thought the audio was going to be, a little shitty, but, not to the extent that it was. And, I, uploaded the episode, and in the description it says something we're sorry if there's any, bad audio, But, like, this is better than no episode, am I right? I was wrong. I was absolutely not right. We're going to pretend that never happened.
Nope. The only bad audio on this one is just the sound of our animals.
And they're fine. So it's all you, boo.
Okay, it's all me. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm covering some people might have actually heard of this one, because apparently it was kind of it caught on the internet pretty hard. I missed it. But I'm covering the death of Elisa Lam. This takes place down in Los Angeles, so we're traveling outside of the Bay Area for this one.
Also, real quick, I'm going to be like 100% honest with you. I think it's Elisa.
You think it's Elisa?
Yeah. It's Elisa.
Elisa.
I think it's Elisa. Elisa.
Elisa?
Elisa.
Go with Elisa. Okay, tomorrow.
I'm sure she cares.
Okay. So...
Sorry, go on.
Yes, so this is the death of Elisa Lam. So this takes place in February of 2013.
Oh, also cite your source, bitch.
Oh, this is all coming from Wikipedia. This is...
Ah, you're taking a page out of my book.
Well, this is kind of more last-minute fill-in.
True.
Yeah.
But, not to sidebar you completely, but we did hear about another true crime podcast who got dinged for not citing their sources.
Yes.
So, us bitches are gonna cite our sources.
That's citing sources. Yeah, the thing with Wikipedia is it's multiple sources, allegedly.
And maybe some 12-year-old kid who's jerking off writing it.
Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe not this one specifically, but, you know.
I hope not.
You know, it sounded better in my head before it came out. As with most things I say, let's be 100% honest. Some dumb shit comes out of this mouthhole.
The body of Elisa Lam, a Canadian student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, was recovered from a water tank atop the Cecil Hotel? Cecil?
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 That hotel in downtown Los Angeles on February 19th. She had been reported missing at the beginning of the month. Maintenance workers at the hotel discovered the body when investigating guest complaints of problems with the water supply.
Ew.
Yeah. Her disappearance had been widely reported. Interest had increased 5 days prior to her body's discovery when the Los Angeles Police Department released video of the last time she was known to have been seen. On the day of her disappearance by an elevator security camera. In the footage, Lam is seen exiting and re-entering the elevator, talking and gesturing in the hallway outside, and sometimes seeming to hide within the elevator, which itself appears to be malfunctioning. This video went viral on the internet, with many viewers reporting that they found it unsettling. Explanations ranged from claims of paranormal involvement to bipolar disorder, from which Lam had suffered.
So, real quick, this reminds me a lot of a case that happened, I think, 2 years ago or last year, of Kanika Jenkins. Did you ever hear that? It was 2 years ago.
I don't think so.
So, I hate to, like, derail you completely.
No, it's okay.
So 2 years ago, I was looking it up really quickly while you were talking because I was like, oh, this sounds fucking familiar, but it was not. They're completely separate. This girl in Chicago named Kanika Jenkins, I think she was like 17 or 18, or she's 19. She went to a party at a hotel, and there's videos of her like walking up and down the hallways, like looking like really like either like possessed or like inebriated or like whatever. And like all of her friends were like, oh yeah, she didn't have like a drop of liquor, she didn't do any drugs, like she was stone cold sober like the entire night. So she's like waddling like through the hallway, like looking all fucked up, and then she's found the next day in the freezer.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Oh wait, no, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the hotel's like, yeah, we don't know what happened, because like there's like weird like footage like kind of missing, but like not really. It's very weird. I think like some of the footage looks like edited. Like,
That's one of the things.
Out.
Yeah, one of the things with this one is that it's been argued that the video was altered prior to release.
Yeah, so like it's very shady. I'm also gonna like see if I can look up the elevator footage, and because I'm gonna want to link it in the show notes because I'm curious.
Yeah. I mean, it went viral, so it has to be out
there. Go
on. Circumstances of Lam's death, once she was found, also raised questions, especially in the light of the hotel's history in relation to other notable deaths and murders. Her body was naked, with most of her clothes and personal effects floating in the water near her. It took the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office 4 months after repeated delays to release the autopsy.
Good lord, babe.
I know. It's running in our family, man. Which reports no evidence of physical trauma and states that the manner of death was accidental.
Of course it was.
Guests at the hotel, now rebranded as Stay on Main, sued the hotel after the incident, and Lam's parents filed a separate suit later that year. Some of the internet interests noted that there were considered to be unusual similarities between Lamb's death and the 2005 horror film Dark Water.
I haven't seen that.
Me neither, but I assume it has something to do with, well, water. Dark water.
Whoa.
I know, man. Whoa. So yeah, she traveled alone on this trip, which itself is kind of, it's one of those things.
Yeah, like that's gonna be a fucking no for me, dog. Like I'm not traveling anywhere by myself.
But the good news is she at least checked in. So she visited the San Diego Zoo and posted photos taken there on social media. On January 26th, she arrived in Los Angeles. After 2 days, she checked into the hotel near downtown Skid Row. She was initially assigned a shared room on the hotel's 5th floor. However, her roommates complained about what the hotel's lawyer would later describe as certain odd behavior, and she was moved to a room of her own after 2 days.
Okay, real quick, I've been watching this video while you've been talking, and the shit's wild. So, like, she, like, gets in the elevator, she, like, presses, like, literally all the buttons down, like, on one row, and then, like, hangs out in the corner, and then, like, starts, like, bopping in and out of the elevator, and, like, part of it, she's, like, grabbing her head, and, like, she's, like, waving her arms around like she's, like, lost, or, like, she's, like, trying to, like, wade through, like, water or something. It's very, very creepy and, like, unnerving. I'm definitely going to post this in the show notes. Give it a watch. It's only, like, 2 minutes.
So the hotel, it was built as a business hotel in the 1920s. It fell on hard times during the Great Depression and never recaptured its original market as the downtown decayed around it in the late 20th century. This is where it gets a little interesting. Several of LA's more notable murders have happened at or have connections to this hotel.
What?
In 1964, Goldie Osgood, the Pigeon Lady of Parachute Square, was raped and murdered in her room at this hotel.
Jesus fucking Christ.
A crime that has never been solved. Serial killers Jack Unterweger. I'm just gonna go past that one real quick, but this is the more interesting one, anyways. And Richard Ramirez, otherwise known as the Night Stalker, both resided at this hotel while they were active in there.
Wait, they fucking lived there?
They lived there during their times of killing.
Ugh.
There have also been suicides, one of which also killed a pedestrian in front of the hotel.
Jesus.
After recent renovations, it had tried to market itself as a boutique hotel.
A boutique murder hotel?
No. But the reputation still lingers. Lam had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression. She had been prescribed 4 medications to treat these disorders. And this is all according to her family. She did have no history of suicidal attempts. Nothing like that. She just had these just kind of depression and bipolar.
I mean, you can be very high functional with both of those things.
Yeah. Here we go. So this is the disappearance. Lam contacted her parents in British Columbia every day while traveling. On January 31st, 2013, the day she was scheduled to check out at the hotel and leave for Santa Cruz, they did not hear from her and called the LA police. Her family flew to Los Angeles to help with the search, which is just very quick. It's impressive.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like that's some shit my mom would do.
That's true.
Like, if, like, she goes on vacation, I was talking to her every day, and I just, all of a sudden just, like, stopped responding to her, like, her text messages. First of all, she'd be pissed.
Yes.
And second of all, she'd be like, I'm gonna take my ass down there.
Yep, she would be down there pretty quick. Hotel staff who saw her that day said she was alone. Outside the hotel, Katie Orphan, manager of a nearby bookstore, was the only person who recalled seeing Lam that day. She was outgoing, very lively, very friendly. She was talking about what book she was getting or whether or not what she was getting would be too heavy for her to carry around as she traveled. So overall, she was in great spirits, cheerful. Police searched the hotel to the extent that they legally could. They searched Lam's room and had dogs go through the building, including the rooftop, but the canines were unsuccessful in detecting her scent.
Bet they were good boys, though.
They were good boys. They were just doing their job. On February 6th, a week after Lam had last been seen, the LAPD decided more help was needed. Flyers with her image were posted in the neighborhood and online. It brought the case to the public's attention throughout the media. Yeah, so this next section's talking about the elevator video, which we will have posted
Yes, it'll be in the show notes. Check it out. Like I said, it's like 2.5 minutes long. It's, like I said, like it's actually like pretty creepy. Like at first it's like, okay, like what am I watching? And then it's like, oh, this is not normal.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about it too. Like I said, Jaymie described it kind of perfectly, but several theories evolved to explain her actions, at least try to come up with it. One was that Lam was trying to get the elevator car to move in order to escape from someone pursuing her.
See, that's what like I initially thought too, because she like presses hella buttons. Y'all can't see me, but I just like pretended to press hella buttons like in the air. And then she like kind of like cowers in the corner, and then like stays there, and then she like you can tell she's like what the fuck, and then yeah, and then she like kind of keeps like bobbing in and out. I think one to like see what's going on, and two to see if she can get the door to like close or move.
Yeah, and and of course there's like this. She was probably on ecstasy or some party drug.
Or she was just being manic. I don't know.
Yeah, or once and then once it was public that she had bipolar disorder, it was like she might have been having an episode.
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible. I mean, regardless if someone was following her or not.
Yeah, and then there's also, I guess, viewers argue that the video has actually been tampered with. There's an obscuring of the timestamp. Parts have been slowed down, and nearly a minute of footage had been removed.
So yeah, the one clip that I saw, the timestamp is like kind of like, it looks like it's been like TV staticked out.
Yeah, and people are thinking like that could have been done to if somebody was walking into the shot or whatever. They don't want their identity out there because it's not about them.
Right, but like, what if that's like the person that took her, or like
unless the person was questioned and like found.
I don't know if we're talking about my last case, the last person that's seen at the house was cleared, and who knows?
Who knows? Okay, so this is where it gets interesting: is the discovery of the body.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Go on.
Yes. During the search for Lam, guests at the hotel began complaining about low water pressure. Some later claimed their water was colored black and had an unusual taste.
I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, it's rough. On the morning of February 19th, Lam's body was found in one of the four 1,000-gallon tanks, providing water to guest rooms, a kitchen, and a coffee shop. Yeah.
But like forever.
Yeah, forever. The tank was drained and cut open since its maintenance hatch was too small to accommodate equipment needed to remove her body. On February 21st, the Los Angeles Coroner's Office issued a finding of accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder as a significant factor. Now, again, okay, accidental drowning inside this tank? Weird.
So, actually, this like high-key reminds me of the first season of How to Get Away with Murder. I know you don't watch that show.
I don't watch that
but
show.
You've watched me watch that show.
I have watched you watch that show.
That sounded very like Joe Goldberg-y. You watched me do it. Anyways, so the first season, this isn't a spoiler. It's like in the first fucking episode. If you haven't watched the first season of How to Get Away with Murder and you're interested in watching it, that's your own goddamn fault.
I mean, you're not spoiling too much.
No. Anyways, a girl is found in a water tank on top of a building. And, like, some of the clothes are just kind of chilling in there. Like, she's not fully dressed. It's the same. It's very eerily similar. And maybe that was inspired by this. I don't know.
Might have been inspired. Yeah, accidental drowning.
And actually, I think one of the things they said was that, like, she was, like, bipolar or something, if I remember the show correctly.
I mean, they might have literally just been going off this.
Weird.
I mean,
anyways, go on.
Okay, so the full coroner's report, released in June, stated that her body had been found naked. Clothing similar to that she was wearing in the elevator video was floating in the water, coated with sand-like particle. Her watch and room key were also found with her. Oh god, this is bodies in water, guys. It's never pretty.
No, it's never cute.
Her body was moderately decomposed and bloated. It was mostly greenish, with some marbling evident on the abdomen and skin separation evident.
Oh god, I wish you guys could see my fucking face right now.
Yeah.
It's not cute.
No evidence of physical trauma, sexual assault, or suicide. They did toxicology tests. Incomplete because not enough of her blood was preserved. So, the only thing they did find was, it looks like there was traces of her prescription medication, and a very small quantity of alcohol, less than 0.02%. Yeah.
Well, so 0.08 is a legal limit in California. So 0.02 would probably be like maybe after like a drink.
Yeah.
I would suppose. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't.
Or like a sip.
it's kind of hard to tell. And also, like, her body was, like, that decomposed, and if, like, there wasn't that much blood, I would guess, and also because like, she was in water, that it probably diluted it.
Could have diluted it.
So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, it's a trip. So the investigation had determined how Lam died, but did not offer an explanation as to how she got into the tank in the first place. Doors and stairs that access the hotel's roof are locked, with only staff having the passcode and keys, and any attempt to force them would supposedly have triggered an alarm. However, the hotel's fire escape could have allowed her to bypass those security measures, if she or someone who might have accompanied her had known. A video made by a Chinese user after Lam's death and posted to the internet showed that the hotel's roof was easily accessible via the fire escape, and that 2 of the lids of the water tanks were open.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Apart from the question of how she got on the roof, others asked if she could have gotten into the tank by herself. All 4 tanks are 4 by 8 feet.
It's not very big.
Yeah, but I mean, that's almost 5 feet. You're trying to climb up to the top of.
That's true. I mean, does it say how tall she is?
It might up top.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. Whatever. So whether 4 by 8?
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Okay.
It doesn't say.
I'm gonna Google it and find out. I don't know if it'll even tell me.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, so they were also propped up on concrete blocks. So
they would probably would be a little taller.
Yeah. There's no fixed access to them, and hotel workers had to use a ladder to look at the water. They are protected by heavy lids that would be difficult to replace from within. Police dogs that searched through the hotel for Lam.
Her estimated height was 5'6".
Okay, so yeah, that'd be a hard climb.
Yeah.
Police dogs that had searched through the hotel for Lam, even on the roof shortly after her disappearance, was noted. Did not find any trace of her, although they had not searched the area near the water tank.
Well, those fucking idiots that just looked in the water tank. Don't look at me like they should have known.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, when you're searching for a body, I guess you should search everywhere.
But I mean, like, I don't. At the time, they weren't looking for a body; they were looking for a human, like an alive human.
Yeah,
Never mind. Okay, I digress. Go on.
It just talks about her Tumblr blog, which is interesting. It just kind of goes
about
on.
murder.
It just kind of goes on to talk about. It talks about more about the elevator video and just kind of her like how she was acting in the elevator video is like kind of the biggest clue they have, obviously. So the autopsy report and its conclusions have also been questioned. For instance, it does not say what the results of the rape kit and fingernail kit were, or even if they were processed. What? It also records pooling of blood in Lam's anal area.
Booty hole blood.
Yeah, which some observers suggested was a sign of sexual abuse. However, somebody has noted that it could have also resulted from bloating in the course of the body's decomposition. Oh my god. Yeah, it gets rough. So basically, they still don't have an answer for this. That's
bananas. So I'm like reading through the Wikipedia page too right now. Looks like her parents filed a wrongful death suit against the hotel.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
Okay, I don't listen to you, so.
The residents also filed one. Well, not a wrongful death, but they filed the fact that basically drank body water.
It's probably just some wild class action.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god, first of all, I'm a fucking genius. So I'm scrolling down on here. I'm so sorry to cut you off. I'm not actually sorry. The look on your face right now is glorious. An ABC series, How to Get Away with Murder, had a similar storyline.
Yeah. Over
a series of flashbacks spread across the first season, which began airing in 2014. It's revealed that a sorority girl missing at the start of the season was murdered and that her body was hidden on the water tank of the sorority house. Similarly, her body is only discovered when a maintenance worker is called to address a water pressure issue. Oh my god. See, I should write this shit.
It's kind of, a lot of real life stuff inspires shows that we watch.
It really does. That's fucking sad.
Yeah, wrongful death. I've seen that too. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy to think because this happened in 2013. This isn't like in the 80s or the 70s.
No, this is like 6 years ago.
Oh, so apparently even the 5th season of American Horror Story was inspired by Lamb's death.
Creepy. Spoopy.
I don't know if that's how true that is.
I don't know. I really honestly stopped watching. I've seen the first season, the 3rd season, and part of the 4th. So, Season 2 is ass.
Well, you should look up and see if they have continued the search. I'm trying to see when this was last updated. Because I'd be intrigued to know, since this is... I mean, 2013.
I don't see too much. I'm like scrolling through Reddit really quick, and I don't see anything. You know, honestly, they probably, like, once they, like, ruled it an accident, like, and in most cases, it usually just kind of goes cold.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, shit, something happened, we don't really know what it was, but, like, I don't know, shrugs shoulders and walks away. So it's at that point where, like, if the family, like, really wants to know what happens, like, they have to, like, get their own, like PI or something to, like, look into it, because, unfortunately, like, the state's just like, fuck you, we're over it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's stuck with me for obvious reasons. Like, it's super just insane. Like, just...
Yeah, like, that's fucking bananas.
So the video is definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I guess it's a little shorty.
Yeah.
Also, like, check out the case of Kanika Jenkins. That's, like, bonkers, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the similar one, the girl in Chicago a couple years back. Like, the fact that this, like, keeps happening is goddamn wild.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's, like, not the 80s or, like, the 70s or some shit.
No.
Where there was, like, no footage. Like, there is footage, but someone's clearly messing with it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, so is that all you got?
That's all I got. That was the end of it. It's
All
kind
right.
of a sad ending because there's no ending. But
Right.
I guess the ending is accidental, but...
Well, do you have anything fun and fresh and exciting to share with the people? Maybe something you watched or something that you played or something you read? I don't know.
Well, we did on Friday. We did go and see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So good.
It's so good.
So fucking good. If you haven't watched it, you need to go fucking watch it.
Yep.
It is almost like 3 hours, so make sure you pee first.
Yeah, it's classic Tarantino. It's
Yes.
an old, long movie, but it's so good. You don't feel the 3 hours. That's what I loved about it the most.
No, like literally, like there was like maybe like 30 minutes left or something. I glanced down at my watch just to see what time it was because I was like, oh, this movie's like just getting good.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh fuck, it's already like been like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it was a good one though.
It's a good one.
And if you are unaware, it's adjacent and kind of intertwangled with the Manson family.
A little bit. They are referenced a few times.
Yes, I don't want to spoil anything because this movie's fucking
Not going to give any hints about it, but yes, they are referenced and they are shown a little bit.
Yes, you get to see some of the family.
Yes, you do.
Speaking of, I actually watched a really cool documentary about the Manson family the other night. I forget what it's called. I'm gonna see if I can look it up right quick. But they had like footage from like Manson family members while they were like either in it still, or had like just gotten out of the Manson family. Versus like a couple years ago, they were like re-interviewed and they got to watch their own footage.
Oh man.
And they were like, oh wow, like I was like really fucked up, or like people like must have thought I was like really fucked up. Which, I mean, like, they were being, like, fucking brainwashed by, like, this psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of fucked up.
Yeah. It's called Inside the Manson Cult, The Lost Tapes. It was very good. Highly recommend. I think it's only a couple hours long.
Which isn't terrible.
No. Especially for, like, all the content. Like, like I said, it's very fucking interesting. But, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
No,
You excited to do this again? Next week?
I'm excited to do this again. I have a feeling I'll be stepping in a lot.
Well, Jess only said that she's going to take like 2 weeks-ish off, question mark.
I mean, the good news is I can be called in anytime.
Truly. And then if you guys remember, my buddy Jackson, he's going to be coming on the show. Probably, I think we'll have him on next week.
Okay.
Probably, because he's coming over on Saturday to record.
Yeah.
And
so
then
we
we're
can
going to do a
Terminator.
3-way review of the Terminator.
Yeah.
So watch that, get your ass ready.
Yes, watch I think the original, where do we watch on Amazon?
Yeah, we did watch on Amazon. It's part of the Prime.
I think it's on Hulu too.
Maybe we should watch the second one right before we record it.
If you want to.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea.
I mean, the first movie and the second movie, completely different vibes.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like, this is for shits and gigs anyways. Like, Jess wanted nothing to do with this joke that I made, like, 3 episodes back. And honestly, like, I'm leaning into it.
That's right. Yeah, and then if you guys like me enough, I might eventually have my own podcast. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's been in the works.
Go, do you want to plug your Twitter or, like, Instagram or anything?
It's just Sacagawea 19. I think Sacagawea, the Native American folk hero. And then you added Z where the S is.
Yes, just like that.
And it's on my Twitter and my Instagram, or all that.
Yes, I'll link his profiles in the show notes as well if you want to give him a follow.
Yeah.
Pat his ego a little.
Well,
Not that he needs it.
I actually can use all the love I can get right now.
Hey, fuck you. You're the one that had a tweet go viral or whatever.
Yeah, it was barely viral. I mean, it was included in like a Twitter moment, which then got it to be all
You got like 6,000 likes on it or some stupid shit?
something, I don't know. It's framed in our living room. You can go look at it there.
I would literally leave.
Alright.
I would find a new spouse.
6 mental notes on how to get Jaymie out.
Add it to the list. Anyways, that's all for now, folks. Bye-bye!
That's right. Bye!